in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Yes. Oh, today is the day to listen to some immigration, right? This is one of my favorite lawyers, immigration lawyers. I love to listen to. So let's watch and see. It's McBean, Latoya McBean Pompey. Let's listen to her. McBean Immigration TV, okay? And let's get the facts. Let's get the facts.
First of all, here's what the latest is with respect to things in Minnesota on the ground after Saturday's horrific event. And this is taken directly from New York Times, who provided the latest. This is a legal a look into what's happening legally, because certain organizations like the ACLU got to work immediately within minutes, from what I understand, on Saturday after they killed Alex Preddy. According to the latest from the New York Times, they say that a federal judge is hearing arguments today on whether to end the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in Minnesota, as President Trump ordered his border czar. You guys probably saw the news today that Tom Homan has been shipped off to Minneapolis. Border czar has been sent there. And today, the judge, Judge Menendez, she's hearing a request from state and local lawyers for a temporary halt to the deployment of some 3,000 immigration agents. She acknowledged at the hearing that what has taken place is during shockingly unusual times, but pointedly questioned a lawyer for the state who said that the federal government operation was the result of personal animosity. Mr. Trump announced the decision to send his border czar, Tom Homan, to oversee immigration operations in the state. He later wrote on Truth Social that he had a very good call with Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz. Lawyers for the state of Minnesota and the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul asked the judge, Judge Menendez, this happened already, because again, this is the latest, so the hearing happened already. So the lawyers asked the judge to temporarily halt the deployment of the 3,000 immigration agents, arguing that it has crossed the line into an unconstitutional and illegal occupation of their city and state. And of course, on the Trump administration side, they're arguing that, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They misunderstand what the 10th Amendment actually mean. So we're waiting on the judge's decision regarding these matters there in Minnesota. And as you guys know, the courts have been favorable to immigration enforcement policies so far. So let's continue to watch what happens, how this unfolds today. Also, guys, another piece of information that I really think is important for you to know is what's going on Capitol Hill in light of the fact that that they killed a U.S. citizen on Saturday. This is with respect to the funding request by DHS to, under the Big Beautiful Bill Act. The DHS received a ton of money, ICE in particular, and CBP. And so now here we are again facing budget issues and the threat of a potential government shutdown. Now, what does this have to do with what happened on Saturday? Well, on Saturday, after the killing of Alex Preddy, both Democrats and Republicans said, whoa, wait a minute, this is something is wrong here. And the Senate Democrats are now vowing not to support a funding bill that includes a boost of funding to ICE. Bipartisan legislation to fund a broad swath of the government and avert a shutdown at the end of this week appeared to be in grave danger on Saturday, as key Senate Democrats vowed to oppose it after federal agents shot and killed a Minneapolis resident. The rapidly escalating opposition to the measure, which includes $64 billion for the Department of Homeland Security, including $10 billion for ICE, amplified the likelihood of a partial government shutdown. A government shutdown at the end of this month. The legislation requires the support of Democrats to muster the 60 votes that are needed to avoid a filibuster in advance in the Senate. Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, the minority leader, said Senate Democrats will not provide the votes to proceed to the appropriations bill if the DHS funding bill is included. So guys, the way it works is that the measure that that's on the table currently includes DHS funding, Pentagon funding, State Department, health, education, labor, and transportation programs. They're all put together here in this bill. And now Senate Democrats are saying we've got to take out the DHS part, because particularly the funding to ICE, because this has gone way too far. And so on the Republican side, Senate Republicans immediately began to examine whether they could separate the Homeland Security funding from the rest of the package and keep the deal, the bipartisan deal, together. And so Senator Susan Collins, the main Republican, who is now chairwoman of the Appropriations Committee, I didn't know that until now, that she's chairwoman of the committee after all these years. She says here, I'm exploring all options. I'm exploring all options, and that she's been in touch with Senator Thune, who's the majority leader, and she says we have 5 other bills that are really vital. They're cleaning the streets here, are really vital, and I'm relatively confident they would pass. So let's see what happens, okay? Let's see what happens, but it's super important to follow the dollars and pay attention to how DHS is being funded. Come on in, guys, say freedom now. Thank you for being here. It is a snow day here in New York. Happy snow day. Immigration court is closed, by the way, here in New York. Happy snow day. A lot of flights were canceled as well. Now, what happened last week that we didn't have a chance to talk about? Last week, guys, as you probably also heard in the news, that there's a memo, an ICE memo that advises agents to be able to use their own administrative warrants to break down the doors of anyone, really, break down the doors and go in and take whoever they choose to take, despite the fact that they do not have a judicial warrant. This came out last week after 2 federal officials blew the whistle. 2 whistleblowers provided the information to a senator, and that information was then verified and shared broadly. And so essentially what this memo says is that the Constitution, the INA, the Immigration and Nationality Act, and immigration regulations do not prohibit ICE from relying on their own administrative warrants to enter a person's home without a judicial warrant. That alone should have everyone deeply, deeply concerned. And because it's basically saying to the agent, you could set aside the Constitution, you could set aside the INA, you could set aside our norms, the way that we operate as a society, set all of that aside, and we could just rely on our own administrative warrant to go in, break down the door, and go in. And that's completely false. So this came out, it's very shocking. Policymakers are discussing this, and apparently this new directive has reportedly been used to train new ICE officers and was applied in at least one Minneapolis raid where agents broke into a home with rifles drawn using only an administrative warrant. And just a reminder that the laws say that you must have a judicial warrant to enter into someone's home, okay, unless there's some sort of exigent circumstance, like there's a hot pursuit. Let's say law enforcement is chasing a potential drug dealer or a serious criminal, and that person runs inside the home, well, they could go in and grab that person. That's important. That's an emergency, but not if someone is in their home and nothing exigent is happening that would cause a federal agent or any police to break down the door and go in. You guys know how things operate here in America. This is not America. So this was written by their counsel, DHS, and so this is incredibly shocking. And definitely know that raise your voice.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max together for $19.99 a month.
Fascinating. Let's go get my wife.
Judge, there.
So it begins.
It's the ultimate bundle for an unbelievable price.
Ain't you tired of seeing the world through this tiny screen? You know what y'all need? Y'all need to chill out. Y'all need to have fun. Y'all need some adventure. Why? Y'all need Gatorland. How do we know? We've been the experts on family-friendly fun since 1949. Now, Florida residents get what they need for less. 1750 edition. Now through the end of January. We know what y'all need. Y'all need Gatorland.
Did you recently lose your Medicare plan for 2026? If your Medicare Advantage plan was terminated, now is the time to check your zip code and find a new Medicare Advantage plan in your area. Insurance companies offer different plans in different zip codes, and some Medicare Advantage plans were terminated for 2026. If your plan was terminated, call the number on your screen for a free Medicare benefit review. Medicare Advantage plans, networks, and benefits differ based on your zip code. If you lost coverage, now is the time to call and review your options. You still have time to enroll in a new Medicare Advantage plan for 2026, but it won't happen automatically. More than half of people on Medicare are enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan, and 2026 plan terminations happen throughout the country. If you're one of the people who lost coverage, now is the time to check your zip code. If you're unhappy about losing coverage or returning to original Medicare alone, we can help you shop for other coverage options in your area. Don't go through 2026 without the coverage you need. You may be eligible to enroll today. If your Medicare Advantage plan was terminated and will no longer be available in 2026, this is your chance to shop, compare, and enroll in a new plan. But you must take action to do so. Call the Medicare Benefits Helpline at the number on your screen. Licensed insurance agents are standing by to help people in your zip code. Take action now before your special enrollment period ends. If your Medicare Advantage plan was terminated, this is your chance to enroll in a new plan for 2026. The Medicare Benefits Helpline is open now and ready to assist. If your plan was terminated, do not wait. Make sure you get the right plan for your needs. Call now for your free Medicare benefit review and enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan today.
Call 800-594-7331. That's 800-594-7331. 800-594-7331. Call now.
Because just so you know, when people's constitutional rights are being violated in the manner that we're seeing right now, you might be thinking, oh, that's a good lawsuit. Oh, he's going to get $1 million. Oh, she's going to get 10 million for this. Oh, that's a good one. Well, the reality is that is not the fact. That is not the case at all, because the Supreme Court has really restricted the ability for us to go after these federal agents and sue the agencies for on the civil side for these damages, these violations. They have given immigration broad powers. Now you guys understand how broad the powers of immigration are. Now you get it. So there are not a lot of cases being settled. There is not a lot of money that they're giving out. Yes, there are billions of dollars, from what I understand, in claims. But as far as the payout is concerned, no. It's hard to do and to get money out of these federal agencies for these constitutional violations. So keep that in mind, very disappointingly. So now lastly, last night, thank you all. Hundreds of you have already registered for the webinar. I'm hosting 3 webinars, one tonight, another tomorrow, and then the last one on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. I'll be covering the same topic. So just attend one session, and it's we're going to sue USCIS. Okay, we're going to file a lawsuit, a multi-plaintiff lawsuit at McBean Law. We're going to file this lawsuit for individuals who are from one of the 39 travel ban countries, and your case has been held up, paused by USCIS because they've said, oh, we're going to not adjudicate your cases. This is an adjudication pause. Totally unfair to you. Your life is messed up right now as a result, or you're in deep fear and concern, and things are just totally shaken in your world because USCIS made this arbitrary decision. And this is our lawsuit. It's only going to impact the plaintiffs who join our lawsuit. This is not a class action lawsuit that will just broadly apply to everyone. If you'd like to learn more about how we're going to onboard new plaintiffs, join one of my my webinars. The link to join the webinar is in the apps in the bios on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. It will be in the description after today's live session. It's also on our website at mcbeanlaw.com/litigation. Spots are filling up, so get in for tomorrow, and certainly or Wednesday. This is our new immigration practice called LIFT, Litigating Immigration for Freedom Today. We like acronyms, and I like to feel good knowing that it sounds good, it sounds right. LIFT, okay? So let's lift the freeze. This is a freeze on your application. It's unfair to you. Our 75 country, that lawsuit is coming next, so stay tuned for more information about that one. That pause. This is about the 39, okay? 39 travel ban countries only. And we're gonna open up the onboarding for you on Wednesday. So you'll be getting emails about when it's time to begin filling out our online form, and you pay your fee. It's a low fee, and to join this lawsuit, okay? So you'll learn a lot more tonight. I can't say too much publicly because you guys know how things are. You guys know how things are, okay? So I can't say too much publicly. So join tonight's Zoom meeting. Now, let's go over into your immigration questions today. And again, double tap the screen, double tap and say hello and freedom now. Freedom now. Someone is asking, can your lawsuit help someone who is in Jamaica? Not this particular one, Phyllis. This particular one is only for those who are from one of those travel ban countries, and I'll leave this up here on the screen for you guys. If you could see it, I don't know. But the 75 country ban, that's to come next. So continue to follow our news and information. Subscribe to our newsletter at mcbeanlaw.com/subscribe. Thank you guys for being here. Elvia says, how do you register for it? Again, Elvia, I will, after today's live session, it looks like you're joining on Facebook. So it's already there in the bio page. The link is already there on Facebook. And I will also put the link, or my colleague, I don't know if she could do it now, in the chat for you on Facebook so that you could sign up for one of the webinars. The webinar is free, of course, free. A lot of questions about how do you register. Again, we will put the link here on YouTube in the description and in the comments after the live session. All right, let's go. What do you think about a lawsuit about immediate marriage application from a country ban? So our lawsuit will cover people who are going through a family petition process or an adjustment of status process here in the United States. It will cover, it's going to cover those individuals as well. Freedom Now. Join the webinar to learn more about what arguments we're going to make in this lawsuit. Thank you. Can I bring my girlfriend here with my green card? No, only US citizens can file the K1 fiance visa. You'll have to become a US citizen before you're able to do that process. I have an in-person interview coming up very soon. Someone says on TikTok next month, and I'm afraid, what should I do? Prepare for your interview, don't be afraid. Prepare for your interview. I don't know what type of case this is, Michelle. Michelle, if this is a marriage case, definitely work with a lawyer to prepare yourself and to see whether that attorney can appear with you. The other thing is, the other resource that is available for you is my green card marriage prep course. It's available. Also, the link you should be able to find that in our link tree there on TikTok. So you could grab my marriage prep course. If USCIS sends you an email of acceptance, confirm, and you are an alien, is it safe for you to travel? Are you referring to the fact that you filed a case with USCIS and they sent you a receipt notice saying that they have your case and they're processing your case? I don't think folks should be traveling around at this time who are not through airports here in the United States who don't have lawful status. It's a very tricky time. It is a very, very tricky time. People are still traveling, of course, and they're not getting in trouble, but you take your chances, right? I'm an American citizen and I have already applied for my daughter who lives abroad. And now what do I do after this 75 country? You can join a lawsuit, okay? You can join a lawsuit in order to bring your daughter here. Again, as I've mentioned, we're going to launch our next lawsuit very soon. We've just got to finish the onboarding of this one with respect to the 39 countries. Thank you guys. Type in freedom now. Freedom now. Freedom now. Are green cards being approved from the restricted countries? USCIS is not approving the green cards for those from those travel banned 39 countries. Okay. Someone says, I'm not computer literate. How can I join your Zoom webinar? You could use your cell phone, okay? You could just click on the link on your cell phone. Many people, I'm sure, will be joining tonight using their cell phone. Zoom is very easy to use. Once you register, you'll get an email with the link to join the Zoom, and you'll get a reminder email from Zoom as well as the webinar is approaching. So you don't need a computer to join tonight's webinar, okay? Any update about the pause? Mohammed is asking. No, there is no update. That's why we've got to sue the government, because they can't do this to you guys. It's really unfair and arbitrary, and it's just unheard of. They need to understand that this is impacting a whole lot of people. Double tap the screen. Thank you. Thank you. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey. If you're joining on TikTok, thank you so much for joining. Just know that this app doesn't work that well anymore, that it's under new ownership. So you might miss some of my work, my content, my stories. So follow me here, of course, but it's also a good idea to follow on Instagram and certainly on YouTube. Thank you guys. Double tap the screen to encourage the TikTok algorithm. Some work authorization work authorization is paused right now, okay? There's some exceptions, limited exceptions that were noted in the USCIS memo, but for the most part, we haven't seen them process things. What you should also know is that if you have an I-751 request into USCIS, a new request, they are still, and you're from one of those 39 countries, they are still issuing the extensions, the 48-month extensions, which is good, okay? I'm wondering whether it makes sense to apply for citizenship given the fact that so much is going on. Well, you know, it's your decision, obviously, right? My thought on this is still now is the time for citizenship because it's a way of freeing yourself from all that is going on, but ensure that you have a good citizenship naturalization case before the government, before you file, okay? Let me shut this down, all right? Thank you, let's see. Can I renew my green card now, or do they accept appointments for the citizenship? So you could still submit your I-90 to renew your green card if it makes sense for you to continue on that track with a green card versus citizenship. Speak with a lawyer about your background to see whether citizenship is good for you, is a good step for you. Thank you. And someone says, I got my green card a year and a half ago and I filed for my 10-year-old daughter and she did her biometrics last year. They needed more information though, and I sent them the information. We are from St. Lucia. So St. Lucia, what's the story there with St. Lucia? St. Lucia is, I don't think, is St. Lucia part of the, okay, so St. Lucia I know is part of the new 75 expanded list, but St. Lucia is not one of the fully restricted countries, right? And it's not a partially restricted country. They will still continue, USCIS will still continue processing that I-130 case for your daughter. Because guys, keep in mind that USCIS has not extended their pause on the newly added countries making up the 75, right? There's two ways that we've got to think about this. They are trying to shut down legal immigration in phases, okay? Phases. We're not at the phase yet where they're trying to make that argument to extend the pause to people from Jamaica, people from St. Lucia, people from, you know, those other countries that have now been added to that 75 phases of shutdown is happening. So that's why you've got to be aggressive and say, no, wait a minute, you can't do this to me. Why? I haven't done anything wrong. I need my life back. I need my freedom back. So you've got to push back and take charge, right? Let's see.
Right now, when you walk into a Burlington, you're walking into deals on top of deals during our winter clearance event. That's main character energy. Find tons of markdowns, up to 70% off other retailers' prices on clearance items. Because at Burlington, the deals aren't the only thing turning heads. Seriously, why go anywhere else? Burlington's winter clearance event. Burlington deals brings wow.
With Dupixent, stay ahead of moderate to severe eczema with clearer skin and less itch. The #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists helps heal your skin from within. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
Okay, so this is a question from Facebook. Um, I like Facebook because they're like OG, they're like old school. It's always good energy flowing from Facebook, always, except for the MAGAs who comment on my posts. But for my live sessions, you guys are just, you just make me feel good when I see you. So Gary Frena says here, hi attorney, we're waiting for our oath taken for citizenship we passed last August. But until now, we don't have a schedule. We also checked our schedule online, but it's always pending. May I know your opinion for this? I agree with you, Gary, that this is a very long time for you to be waiting. Post citizenship test, normally individuals who pass their test and pass the scrutiny that the government takes you through, normally you're quickly thereafter notified of your oath date. And so you can reach out to us one-on-one for us to learn a little bit more. Did anything come up during that interview that made the officer kind of pause? Did they go down a particular line of questioning that you were maybe surprised by and it kind of caught you off guard, but you answered anyway to the best of your ability? Did anything like that happen? We would want to explore a little bit more. And then of course we'll take a look at your location too to see where you're located. But generally speaking, if it went well, they act quickly with the oath part of things. Okay, so let's talk one-on-one privately. Hello there, come on in, type in freedom now. I'm LaToya McBean Pompey in the middle of our snow day here, and the show must still go on. Join me tomorrow. I think tonight might be full. Join me for a webinar on our USCIS lawsuit, how you could join our lawsuit if you are from one of the 39 travel ban countries and USCIS has unreasonably held up your case and paused it indefinitely. Join us for more information about how to be onboarded onto this lawsuit. Onboarding will open up on Wednesday. Now, I have an interview coming up for the I-485. Will it affect me if we do our taxes separately? The girl is asking. So, it's your decision as a couple to say whether you're going to file jointly or separately. That's your prerogative, okay? Does it help to show that you guys are really in it to win it? Yes, it does help, the joint filing, but if it hurts you tax-wise, that's a decision you make with your spouse and your accountant. Now, the way that I've seen it hurt people, however, is if they file or head of household, then that's a flag. That's a flag because sometimes the government will pause the case for you guys to go back and amend your taxes before they can proceed. That's how I've seen it become a problem, but it's your prerogative. I'm of the opinion these days, like, you can't tell me how to live my life, you can't tell me what to do in some regards, right? You've got to remember that they can't impose their own views on you. That's an area where they can't impose it. Now, I will say this to you, however, have a strong package. Have more things, have more bona fides, have more in there to show that you're really committed to each other financially, and you will bear the burden of her. You'll bear her burden, including her student loans. Always inquire about those student loans. Oh, you went to Harvard. How did you pay for Harvard? Can I see your last ask to see
What is wrong with the machine?
of your student
What's wrong
loan?
with it?
What happened to it?
You've got to inquire, guys, because it's your certain things could be your responsibility one day. So Anyway, let's keep going.
I don't know much shit.
Type in freedom now, freedom now. Thank you guys for being here with me. Here's a good question from Pascal. I applied for the I-130 for my son and it's been approved. I even made the payment, but the country my son lives in is in Burkina Faso, full ban. What should I do now? Pascal, consider joining the next lawsuit that will file. You know, a visa is available for your son. The government will want to process your case all the way until the end and place you in an administrative processing and not issue the visa to your son at the end of that process. It's unfair to you. Consider joining the next lawsuit that we have coming up.
Your mommy got with her dolly? Mommy
Let's
have a
see,
dolly?
it's beginning to
You
feel
want
like
dolly?
a prison in this land. Bidimi is commenting, not a question, so I'll respond to this comment. It's a, you know, I could understand how you could feel that way, particularly if you don't have the freedom to travel and the freedom to just go to the grocery store, even if you're lawful here, or even if you're a or you have an accent, then it becomes a big problem. So I could understand that sentiment. I'm not even going to try to sugarcoat it and make America seem wonderful or counter what he said. It's his opinion and he's entitled to it. And what we're seeing today can make people feel just like that. Others would say, well, go back to your country then if you feel that way. Well, that's what they would say, right? But I respect your opinion there, Bidimi. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Is there still a visa available if someone from the affected country, for those who are from the affected country, to bring their spouse to the United States? Well, if you're an immediate relative, if you're a U.S. citizen and you're trying to bring your spouse here, a visa is available. And that's what's so wrong about what the government is doing now. Even though the law says a visa is available for someone, the government is saying arbitrarily, well, we're not going to allow you to bring your spouse to the United States because we don't trust how they do things because of this whole public charge issue. That's the main rationale, public charge. For the 75, it's the public charge rationale that they're given. We're not sure whether your spouse is going to come to the United States and become a burden to our system and to taxpayers. Therefore, we're going to pause bringing your spouse here, your children here, your parents here, and others here. Now, it might be temporary. This pause on visas based on public charge might very well be temporary, okay? So that's one thing that we've got to note and we'll watch it. And let's see how that goes. I'm not going to say how my gut feels about it. I just want to stay focused on the facts, but it might very well be temporary. And if we find that it is going to really be indefinite, then certainly join our lawsuits for the 75. Public charge rules are being tailored now to weed a lot of people out of the system and reduce the flow into the United States, particularly of people from Africa and maybe some other countries, but mainly Africa and Caribbean countries. They don't want more Black folks here in the United States. So the attempt here is to weed out as many people as possible from those regions. That's truly what the intent is there. How do we join the lawsuit? Again, Bidemi, the new lawsuit, the one that's coming up, it's going to be for those who are from the 39 travel ban countries, and you have a case pending at USCIS, which USCIS has said we're not touching right now because we just can say that because we're the government. And we have a lot of power and we want to pause illegal immigration. That's unfair. That's illegal. That's wrong. That's what we're focusing on today. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going. Do not go to your, guys, if you need a waiver, if you're going to consular process, big mistake to avoid. If you're going to consular process, meaning that you're here in the United States and you're going to have to leave to go overseas to a U.S. embassy, do not leave the United States, whether before figuring out whether you need a waiver. Whether the U.S. Embassy is likely going to ask you, where's your waiver? I don't see a waiver in the system for you, therefore I can't approve this visa. That is the worst case scenario for anyone consular processing. So ask your lawyer, do I need a waiver? Will I need a waiver to get back into the United States? And let the lawyer explain to you yes or no. This person says, I got my appointment scheduled. And which was quick to my surprise, but then I realized I never got my waiver. Was there an administrative error? No. So, do you have a waiver pending currently? Number one, do you have a waiver pending? And then number two, your case at the National Visa Center went all the way up to documentarily qualified, and when you progress it and make it go there, then the government is going to continue its process to issue you a date for an interview. Now, you might very well still have a waiver, the I-601A waiver pending. No decision yet, right? So you would have to stop or pause the process at the visa center and not leave the country until you get your waiver approved first. The 601A waiver, if you do in fact have a waiver pending. And so that's how that could have happened for you, where you got the interview date first or before the waiver is approved. So speak with your lawyer about slowing things down there for you so that you can do things with the right timing. I was thinking of the word in tandem, but then I was thinking, I don't think that sounds right. So that was the hesitation going on in my mind. That's what happened there.
Announcing the bedhead sale at Mattress Warehouse. With savings for bedheads of all kinds. We're more than a mattress store. We're Mattress Warehouse.
Where do you find the soul of BMW and those who drive it?
Lease the BMW i4 for $499 per month.
This cough.
Mucus levels are high today, huh?
Not today. I got Mucinex 12 hour.
Mucinex 12-hour works continuously to break up mucus and move it up and out to rid the congestion, kill the cough.
Oh, right. My wife applied for the I-130 and my country is on the partial travel ban list, so they're not gonna touch it. But it is not on the 75 countries list. Can the process still work for me? How was the I-130 approved yet at USCIS? That's the question. It sounds like the I-130 wasn't approved yet. If the I-130 wasn't approved yet, it is paused right now. So one step at a time. I-130 needs to be approved, then the visa center and application needs to be submitted and fees paid and all of those steps at the visa center, and then a U.S. embassy will interview your partner. Everything is in chunks here. What's paused currently on the USCIS side is these I-130s. Now, there's no pause yet. There's no pause at the visa center. The visa center is still working. Those contractors still need to be paid. They're keeping things going. And now what's a pause at the tail end, of course, is issuing the visa. Issuing the visa is paused by the U.S. Embassy at this time. So you have a pause on two sides. The I-130 side, and then at the back end on the visa side. For some people from the countries that overlap the 39 and the 75, why did they do this to us? Why did they do this to us? To you? Let's go. double tap the screen. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York. Thank you. Double tap the screen if you're joining on TikTok. Follow, and also follow me on Instagram so that you could stay in the loop. Some of my content is being censored on TikTok. How do I join the webinar? Aju is asking from Facebook. There's a link on Facebook. Go into the bio on Facebook. You'll see the link, join my lawsuit. And then I will also add the link after today's broadcast to this post, okay, on Facebook. So that you'll see it there. Or you could go to McBeanLaw.com's website /litigation. And you'll see all of the information there, including the link to the webinar. How long are NVC interviews taken? Some say months and some say years. It truly depends, Jordan, on the country. The State Department has a really good tool that the Trump administration launched last year that tells you by post or embassy location or city what's going on, which cases, how far into your process as far as being documentarily qualified and such, where are they up to, what month and year. That's really what you need to do a Google search for. I forget what they call it, but it's under the State Department. It's on their website. I'm blanking right now on the name of that tool. If anyone is so inclined and you want to be nice and do the good civic thing today, please put it in the comment for me here on YouTube. Thank you. Hi. Maureen says, I've been waiting for a year for my oath after I passed my naturalization interview. Maureen, reach out to us. You should not be waiting that long. You might be able to, we could help you maybe with a mandamus lawsuit to force them to take that next step in your case. That is just unreasonable. And also, of course, as we do here at McBean Law, we really dig deep into things to find out what is truly going on, what could be causing this kind of slowdown, and give you our opinion. Iwande says, how do we join the lawsuit from Instagram? Go to the bio page, my bio page, and you'll see the link there called Join My Lawsuit. Okay? Or you could also go to the stories, my stories. We have the link in my stories as well on both Instagram and Facebook. And we're going to try to keep the link in the stories for you as well to make it super easy for you. All right, super chat question. First super chat for the day starts off at $1.99. Are there any concerns for going to the DMV in New Jersey? New Jersey, I don't know. Okay, there you go. That's what you get for $1.99. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, lighten up. So New Jersey is really harsh with immigration, particularly the Newark field office. But on the DMV side of things, I haven't heard Math 8. I haven't heard anything in particular going on there. I would want to know what is your status? What documentation are you going to be taking to DMV to prove that you're a resident there and that you are lawful and can get a driver's license? I have not heard about arrest happening at DMV. Have you? If anyone has heard about ICE problems at DMV, please put it in the chat so that we're all enlightened. You might be fine so long as you have the right qualifying documents for that appointment at DMV. Allison says, second super chat, Freedom Now, my sister. Freedom Now, my sister, who is an American citizen. Can she apply for me for a green card? Yes, she can start your process for you, Allison. She could start that. She could file the I-130 for you, and where are you located? Are you here in the United States or are you abroad? It's a lengthy process. It's going to take many years for your case to process, but certainly get in line with through the I-130 process. Thank you guys for joining today. If you missed the news that I shared, watch this on YouTube again after the broadcast ends momentarily. Thank you so much. I shared some very important news at the very beginning. Selena says, I paid all the fees to file my green card applications and the lawyer hasn't done anything in the case. What should I do, please? Selena, first of all, that's a one-on-one problem with the lawyer. It could the lawyer's caseload. Does your lawyer have any help, or is there any staff there helping? Are you sure that you've submitted everything that the lawyer is asking for? It's hard to tell you, to go take an action against your attorney without understanding the full story there. There are, if a person has really been harmed by an attorney, each state has a way of dealing with that. You can research that for yourself. But I think communication with the attorney is really key. Send an email, send something in writing to the attorney to find out what's going on with your case. And it's a busy time for lawyers, I will tell you that. And that's no excuse, of course. You deserve for your case to be worked on. It's a busy time. Allison, just circling back to Allison, who wants her sister to file for her, she says that I'm in the United States. Okay, so the I-130 can go in, and then there's a lengthy wait. You'll need to eventually qualify for a waiver at the end of your process, and then go back to, this is the super chat, and then go back to your home country for an interview at the embassy. So it's a lengthy process, but you could do it. All right. Thank you, guys. Someone says sending prayers for everyone. Okay, thank you. Can someone still apply for citizenship after being a resident for almost 10 years if they are from Haiti, or should they just renew their green card? I would evaluate it from the standpoint of a citizenship, if you're eligible for citizenship. As you know, there is a pause currently on applications, even naturalization, for folks from Haiti unfairly under this new USCIS pause on 39 countries, their applications. But we would want to work on the naturalization application and get it in, and certainly you could join the lawsuit, but we're on board, and for this particular lawsuit, we have a very short window. We'll see how it goes with your registrations and such to see whether it's going to be extended, because we need to get a certain number of plaintiffs in before we file the case, and I'll share more information with those who are joining my webinar. They will be privy to some more details on how this is going to work. Let's keep going. Okay, Donna says, Latoya, big up your nice, clean Jamaican self. I'm glad you find that I'm clean, Donna. That's funny. Thank you. What are the chances of a federal judge granting a nationwide relief to everyone and not just the plaintiffs? It's very slim, because as you saw last year, as we all saw last year, the U.S. Supreme Court did not favor the idea of nationwide injunctions. They placed a big restriction on nationwide injunctions. So I don't think that's going to happen here with regard to the pause on the 39 nations, and also the same thing with the 75 countries and their immigrant visa processing. I just don't think that's going to be the avenue that could work. And so therefore that leaves the option of maybe doing a class action or these multi plaintiff lawsuits where it's like, okay, we've got to take it in chunks now, right? And for those who want to be part of this particular chunk, okay, good. Another one, another group, good. Okay, another, so that's what we have to do. Okay, someone is asking, what's the difference between the restricted countries and the banned countries? Go back and watch some of my videos on the travel bans. Last December, just a month ago, I did a number of videos about the travel bans. So that's where you're gonna find more information on the travel bans. What is the process to expedite an I-130 ahead of an NTA? And will the NTA help with the expedited process? So there are ways to ask for an expedited process for the I-130 based on certain, urgent humanitarian reasons and such. It's kind of harder to do when you're here in the United States and eventually you intend to adjust your status. Now, you mentioned the notice to appear in court. Have you already received an NTA? You said you want to expedite the I-130 ahead of an NTA. So I'm assuming that there has not been one issued yet by USCIS. I would focus on the I-130 and making sure that's a good, strong case so that you won't even be NTA'd. I did a video while I was waiting for my car to warm up. I was all bungled up in my my scarf. See, nothing is wrong with my neck for anyone who is wondering, is she okay? Because you see me with my winter hat on and my big scarf. I'm all bungled up. This was Saturday, I think, but I was just waiting to go outside. So I said in that video that what we're seeing now is USCIS is placing some people in removal proceedings, even though that person has a pending case at USCIS for which USCIS has not yet made a decision on.
There's nothing in soccer quite like this. Top 8 spots, playoff berths, and elimination all on the line. This is Match Day Mayhem. UEFA Champions League exclusively on Amazon.
The only downside to buying a mattress at City, you might need a louder alarm clock.
You ready to go to bed?
Because with Florida's largest selection at the guaranteed lowest prices, plus sleep experts to find your perfect fit, and everything you need to top it off, sleep is about to get a whole lot deeper. City Furniture, designed for sleep.
Yet, out of the blue, the individuals are getting a notice to appear in immigration court. They haven't even gone to USCIS for an interview yet. Their case is just there pending. And I said the common thread here is that they had a case previously, denied, right? A case that was denied. And now USCIS is placing them in removal. We're fighting against those kinds of cases. People are emailing us, asking us for help to hire us in those scenarios. It's unfair to these individuals. Normally, USCIS would process the case that's in front of them and make a decision on it before they jump the gun and issue, a notice to appear and cut short your process. Because when they cut short your process, it overly complicates your case and kicks the can to the immigration judge, and you're caught up in this backlog in court. And then for us to get you out of that, it's a pricey process and lengthy and hard. So that's what we're now noticing. And so that's what I was talking about in that video, which I'm all like bungled up, right? With my big scarf. Watch that reel if you have not seen it yet. It's also shorts on YouTube. Freedom now, guys. Freedom now. Freedom now. Let's see. let's see, let's go here. So my spouse came to the United States with a B1, B2 visa. We got married, with me being a green card holder at the time. We filed an I-130. And we'll file the I-45 once I become a U.S. citizen. We did follow the 90-day rule. I plan to apply for citizenship in July of this year. My question is, will the overstay affect my citizenship interview? No, your overstay, whose overstay? His overstay or yours? Is the overstay ignored for my spouse once the I-485 is filed for adjustment of status? The overstay will be overlooked, yes, if you're a U.S. citizen only. Can she gain travel authorization to travel in between? She can only do so if there's a pending I-485 connected to the case. Let's see. Thank you for circling back, Matt, saying that he is just renewing his driver's license, and he has an EAD card. I think you're going to be fine at DMV. I think you'll be okay. But again, I don't know everything that's going on the ground all across the United States. But I have not heard anything strange like that in New Jersey. Okay, let's go to an interesting question. Super chat from Caesar. I was granted withholding of removal in 2023, and I had my ICE check-in 2 weeks ago. Great. And you're here today texting on this live forum. So he went in for his check-in and he got out. I asked you if I would be detained. Oh, I didn't see the rest of this. Uh-oh. Okay, he said, I asked you if I would be detained, and you said that there's a very slim chance. Well, I was in there and I was out in 5 minutes. So I was right about that one, Caesar. You know, Caesar didn't have to pay $10 to get this in front of me, but it just so delighted me that you did this. Thank you so much for getting this story, this testimony to me. You did something to me today, and I really appreciate that. Let's see. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's go here. Let's do something here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. Guys, we also had a story too that I shared in my stories last week involving our client who also checked in with ICE in the Baltimore area. We were, of course, very concerned, and he walked right out. So he's home with his family. So people are still checking in. As you can see, some people are still cooperating with the law and with the system, as you should, and they're okay. Now, if you feel really, really concerned about it, see if you could bring an immigration lawyer who's available to go with you to the check-in. If you have a case pending, like a motion to reopen your case at the BIA or even before an immigration court, a motion to reopen, well, and then yet you have your ICE check-in, you've got to be able to articulate this. You've got to make an argument for yourself if you're going to go there, or if you have an attorney there, certainly the attorney will bring up the fact that you have this motion pending. Okay. Does the NVC know that you need a waiver after your I-130 is approved? And I know that you can't file the waiver until the I-130 is approved. The NVC is not keeping tabs on certain things like that. If they think it's your responsibility to know whether you're going to need a waiver or not, they will just process your work. They're not going to be providing you with the correct legal advice. That's not their job. They're just collecting your documents, doing their checklist process, and making sure you've done everything according to their rules, and then setting you up for your interview at the U.S. Embassy. So they view it as your responsibility. Now it's a good idea to update them that you do have a waiver that you filed, or that you intend to file your waiver, so that they will keep your case active for a year. Then you touch base with them again, saying, I'm still waiting on my waiver to be approved, keep my case active, and they will just do whatever you tell them. But they're, most I don't think I've ever seen a circumstance, maybe I have, I don't know, but it's not their job to really tell you that you should not go to your embassy interview until you get an I-601A waiver approved. I've seen people go all the way to the end, to the embassy, for and only to hear the embassy say, oh, you needed an I-601, you need an I-601A waiver, and you can't get back to the United States until we get one. Other times most times the embassy will just say you need an I-601, which you can't file ahead of time. If you need an I-601, guys, and you're here in the United States and you need to consular process, you have to wait until the embassy tells you that you need the 601, because that's just how it works. They have to make that determination first, and then you file the I-601 waiver for various inadmissibility issues. Thank you for joining today's live session. We're wrapping up momentarily. This is the Monday Freedom Now show. I'm LaToya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York. You can reach out to us at 914-898-9488. I am working remotely today because it's a snow day here for us. The office is located in White Plains, New York. Thank you for being here today. We have our lawsuit that we're launching. Tonight I will have a webinar at 8:00 p.m. that will explain what this lawsuit is all about. If you're a national or your family member is a national from one of those 39 travel ban countries, just know that USCIS has made the arbitrary decision to pause indefinitely the processing of these cases. So we're talking about people from Haiti, Nigeria, Afghanistan, and all of those other 39 countries. They're not working on those cases from to advance you all the way until the end. We think that's wrong. It's unfair, and you deserve to hold them accountable. You deserve to get your case processed, and to hold USCIS accountable for their policy-making decisions. You can join the lawsuit by clicking the link in on TikTok, on Instagram, also on Facebook or YouTube. The link is going to be in the bio, in the description, and in the comments after today's live broadcast. Let's see. Here's a super chat from JDM. If I qualify for a family petition from a U.S. citizen spouse, I don't have a criminal record, I entered without inspection. Do you recommend that I start now or wait for a new administration? Okay, so do you have a removal order? Here's the balance that the balancing tests, I think maybe a little, you've got to kind of, okay, it's one of those situations. With your scenario, it's all about the risk, right? The risk level. So if you have a removal order, it's risky. You can still do it upon advice of an immigration lawyer who you meet with one-on-one, who's gonna understand more about your background. You could still do it with informed consent. That's what you would hear from me in a consultation. The entry without inspection, I haven't seen the harsh crackdown solely for that issue alone. What I see the harsh crackdown on with the I-130s certainly has to do with a removal order also being on your record. That's when it becomes a real problem. But an I-130 can still be filed, and then you need a 601A process, waiver process, okay? Yes, we're gonna can you make a lawsuit for those impacted by the I-765? It's on the table. That did, it's on the table, but we have to pace ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Friends, I'm gonna end now. We have so much work to do with our lawsuit. We have a lot going on this week. So I'm gonna wrap up now, but I will see some of you tonight at 8 p.m. in the Zoom webinar, and then also tomorrow night at 8 p.m. and Wednesday will be my final and third webinar. I'm gonna do them all live. And so we'll have that time together to discuss the lawsuit. Reach out to us at McBean Law. We're here for you. Phone lines are open. Book your consultation with one of us at the firm. We're happy to find out what's going on with you and see how we could help you. I might do other lives leading up to Wednesday because I've got to inform as many people as possible. That's my job this week about the lawsuit. So you might see me again and then again. We'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for staying plugged in. We're here for you. Do not despair and don't be discouraged. But you've got to, as I said last night, you've got to get up and do something and push back because it's not right what they're doing to folks. Thanks so much for being with me today, friends, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, by the way, we have, before we go, I have to give a plug to the fact that we have a terrific testimonial or success story on our website about naturalization involving our client from Australia. So read the email from last night, or go on our website, mcbeanlaw.com/success to read about his story. And then I also have a YouTube video that we're going to get out to you guys later this week, which is part 2 about the removal of conditions process. So stay plugged in this week, guys. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Okay, people, thanks for watching Beautiful Life. Yes, and that's
Did you
legal
recently lose your
information
Medicare
regarding
plan for 2026? If your Medicare
immigration.
Advantage plan was terminated, now is the time.
Yes, regarding immigration, and you can go check it out, right? Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe to Beautiful Life. Bye-bye.